Revolutionary War Weapons by Carter. In this video, I will tell you about the many different types of weapons used in the Revolutionary War, including muskets, rifles, cannons, pistols, swords, axes, and bayonets. I will also tell you about how they worked and how they were used. Cannons played a huge role in the Revolutionary War because of their immense power. There are many different types of cannons in the Revolutionary War, but I will just talk about the four main categories. There are garrison cannons, field cannons, mortars, and howitzers. Garrison cannons were used exclusively for defending forts and ships because they were too heavy to be moved around. They are commonly used to shoot down upon people attacking a fort. Garrison cannons could hit Manhattan from New Jersey. Field cannons were mobile pieces of artillery that were used to batter walls. They were usually mounted on a set of wheels called a carriage. Mortars were small, short-barreled cannons that were mounted on blocks. They were portable and used to fire small bombs above walls and into fortifications. Howitzers were intermediates between mortars and field cannons because they had a short barrel mounted on a carriage. The angle of the barrel was adjustable. They could also fire many different types of ammunition. Cannons were an important weapon for both sides in the Revolutionary War. There are four main types of cannon ammunition. The first was a solid shot. This was a round iron ball that could be fired from most cannons. The second, a canister shot, was a thin metal cylinder filled with iron balls. Third was a grape shot. This was like a canister shot, except it was used by navies and it was made out of canvas. The final type was a chain shot. This was a cannonball with two ends that was split apart in midair. Guns were probably the most important weapon in the Revolutionary War. There were three types of guns used in the Revolutionary War. These were the rifle, the musket, and the pistol. All of these were flintlock guns that fired lead bullets. The flintlock system relied on flint and steel to make a spark which ignited the gunpowder. Muskets were 5 feet long and had a smooth barrel, while rifles were about 7 feet long and had a rifled barrel. Both weighed about 10 pounds. The rifled bore, had grooves inside of it that spun the bullet. This made the rifle more accurate, but longer to reload. Blades were not as important as cannons and guns, but they were still used in the Revolutionary War. There were three main weapons of this type: the bayonet, the sword, and the axe. The bayonet turned a musket into a sword. It was used when enemy lines got too close. Since a musket took about 25 seconds to reload, bayonets were more efficient at close range. Muskets with bayonets could still fire. Swords were carried by high-ranking officials. They were used to signify rank and to direct troops, but they were rarely used in combat. Axes were carried by Morgan's riflemen and Native Americans. Morgan's riflemen carried them because bayonets could not be attached to rifles. I hope you've enjoyed Weapons of the Revolutionary War by Carter.